Welcome back to my channel, Michi Makes Up. Today we're going to take a look at the new WESTMAN Atelier ipods Rendez-Vous. Here they are. Rendez-Vous comes in 3 shades. Like the previously released WESTMAN Atelier ipods, they all come in 3 shades. So we will do some swatch comparisons with the previous ipods. I have here Les Jours and also Les Nuits. So the difference between, besides the shades, colors, the difference between these different sets of ipods is that, first, really minor detail. They're all made in Italy, the product itself, but there's a slight weight difference in the containers. So this, again, is a minor detail. I do believe that the previously released ipods, the lid here is a bit weightier than the new ones. Again, super minor, but just something that I noticed. And in the previous iPods, we always had a combination of 2 of the iPod containers in this like matte finish, and then we had one in a metallic reflective finish. This time we have 2 iPods in the metallic reflective finish, and then the third one is in a glossy finish, so it's not matte. So I thought that was, interesting. Aesthetically, it is still really pleasing to see all of these. The cool thing about these iPods is that once you're finished with them, you can reuse or keep the containers to put anything. You could put earrings in them, take them to travel with you. You could put any supplements you might take, and they're just kind of these cute little containers you can have on the go. They also come with pouches. So this set of iPods comes with a cream colored pouch with a drawstring. And so really easy to take with you on the go. I think the pouch, drawstring, and the color story inspired me to keep my hoodie on today. Usually I'm in a top that's a bit more formal, a bit more dressy, but I think the color story and just I'm really vibing this comfort look right now. The other iPods comes with pouches too, so they're in different colors. So I have Les Jours comes in a blush pink pouch, and the Nuits comes in a black color pouch, and then we have the WESTMAN Atelier name here. So let's move on to the swatches. I am super excited about these because, well, first of all the shades I think are really pretty, but this set also comes with a khaki green. So here are the swatches of the 3 shades. We have here Rephr, Bonne Chance, and this is Bisous. The texture of the product feels very fluffy and soft, and the heart embossing that's akin to the WESTMAN Atelier logo is basically gone because I've gone in to swatch it, but you can see the indentation here from my finger, so it's quite soft. And the product description on the website reads as: Luminous eyeshadow trio provides soft definition and a sumptuous finish using only the cleanest ingredients. Formulated with silky emollients for blendability, these shadows have a springy, elastic texture and buildable payoff with 0 fallout, intuitive and easy. The cream powder formula comes in 3 supremely wearable palettes: Warm, Les Jours, Deep, Les Nuits, and Earthy, Rendez-Vous. Innovative magnetic pods snap together or apart for easy portability. So the key ingredients that make up the texture of this product is rice starch, that gives it its smooth application and unique fluffy sensation. So that's kind of what I was talking about, how the indentation for my finger just was easily imprinted on the product. Coconut oil provides luxurious slip and blendability. So for anybody allergic to coconut oil, that's something to be aware of, but I do not see almond oil as part of the ingredients here. So I don't see almond oil. I think some people are allergic to that as well. And then naturally derived pigments impart instant lumosity and radiance. There are no silicones, parabens, no PEGs, no phthalates, no talc, no synthetic fragrances or pigments. This is vegan and no animal testing for those of you who are you know, very conscious about clean ingredients, vegan brands, etc., and cruelty-free. This is it. So let me do some comparisons with the other iPods, and then I'm going to go in to create a look and finish the rest of my makeup. Let's start with Les Jours. Les Jours has one of my favorite shades, and it is Tabac. This is easily my day-to-day one and done shade. And I want to say, now that I'm going in with my finger into Tabac, it's right here, it's so pretty. Tabac does not, it's not as soft as the new iPods, so that's something to note for sure. So this is Tabac, and this is Chocolat. And then we have Neige, which is an inner corner color, maybe popping out onto the center of the lid or a brow bone highlight. So it's quite soft, but it is bright and has quite a bit of shimmer and glisten to it. Moving on to Les Nuits. For Les Nuits, we have Vin Rouge, Champagne, and Noir, which is black. And this is what it looks like. True to the color, and this is Vin Rouge and Champagne. In terms of similarities, there really isn't that much compared to the new one, Rendez-Vous, but you could say the deeper shades like Vin Rouge here and this one Chocolat does have some vibes with Frappé. So I don't think they're the same, but it has that same, in the same vein of including something a little bit deeper, more brown to complement the look. So let's go in to create a look, and I'm actually going to use the look WESTMAN Atelier created on the model as my source of inspiration. I'll put her photo right up here so you guys can, you know, kind of have a look, and we'll see how closely I can recreate this. I'm probably going to make some adjustments so that it suits my eye shape a little bit better. I'm taking Bisou and I'm applying that all over the lids. I think this is a one and done shade. It's so pretty, something simple. Then I'm taking Bonne Chance and I'm packing that onto the lids. And I don't recall the other deeper shades from the other iPods being able to give you this kind of deep, like built up pigment, which is nice. I'm gonna go back in to blend that out. And then going into Frappé, we're putting that just above Bonne Chance. And I'm taking the fluffy brush from before to just go back into Frappé and to blend out some seams. And I'd like Bonne Chance to be a little bit more pigmented because I felt like using this really airy brush, I blended out that shade a bit too much. So I'm going in with a finger to add some back on. Yeah, I like how that looks. And then going in with this flat definer brush back into Bisou. I'm adding that above the lash line to brighten things up. And I'm stopping short in the middle section of the lid. And also I'm not going to blend this all the way to the back. I just want it to be brighter up front near the inner corners of the eye. And I think I like to see a little bit more of Frappé blended into the crease. So I'm using that fluffy brush again. And by the way, this is from Sonia G's Keyaki set. This is the Jumbo Blender. It's a very versatile brush. So I'm adding Rephr. Just going back in here. Yeah, much deeper. Going back into Bon Chance, the khaki green, I'm just going to shape the outer corners just a bit. Okay, let me repeat everything on the left eye, then we'll come back for the rest. They did use a tight line for this look, so I'm going to go in using Chantecaille's Luster Glide Silk infused eyeliner in the shade Black Forest, which is green. I think it'll be great with the khaki green shade, and I'm just going to tight line. Then going back into Bon Chance, I am putting that right under here just to deepen things. And I'm also going into Rephr and adding that right here. Then taking Bisou, adding that to the inner corner and just extending it to brighten everything up. And I think I'll just go in with my finger too to cover more area. So this green eyeliner, when contrasted against the eye look, just looks much more teal. I think I need to add this on the upper lash line just so that it looks a little bit more cohesive. I'm not going for, you know, a Cleopatra look because right now it's giving me that vibe. A lot of the focus is like on the lower lash line. That's not my intention. So I'm going to add that to the upper lash line to balance it out. I'll put on mascara, then I'll come back for blush and lipstick. For blush, I'm taking Westman Atelier's Baby Cheeks blush in the shade Minette. Then I'm using the Westman Atelier Light Up Highlighter Stick in Nectar to highlight the high points of the cheeks. The nose. And for lips, I'm taking the Westman Atelier Lip Suede in Le Nude. Let's first go with this pinky shade here. These are very light and very sheer. So I'm using this pinky shade as a base. We will layer on another shade after this. And then I'm going to go into this shade here to add more pigment to the look. This is the finished look, and I am really liking Rendezvous. The deeper shades from Rendezvous generally seem to be more pigmented, and it's easier to build that deep pigment than the other ipods. And the khaki green, I think we are all over this khaki green. We saw it from Chanel. I think it looks beautiful. We saw it in NARS's Climax palette. Love that shade. And now we have another one here. And khaki green is actually what we had hoped to see from Natasha Denona's Meaty Retro palette, which we didn't get. So I think it's wonderful that Westman Atelier released a version for their brand, and it looks really beautiful. I am a huge fan, and I have been getting questions, you know, whenever I bring up the ipods is, are they pigmented? What are they like to work with? They are all very easy to work with, as you saw in the swatches. It's easy to get the pigment, it's easy to get it on, it's easy to blend, but they're just not known for being super pigmented. So if you were looking at Les Nuits and you saw this noir shade, this black shade, or Vin Rouge, for example, and you thought, wow, I'm gonna create just this amazing smoky look with it, you're not going to, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard because it's just not that buildable. But with Rendezvous, I think it is, and we see it here, it's definitely easier to create a smoky look. In fact, I think they might have changed up the formula a little bit. I'm not sure, I didn't do a comparison, so I'm not, stating that, but it seems like something had changed to make it so that these shades are, the deeper shades are more pigmented and that you can build upon them to create a smoky look. So I hope that helps. I do think there's a bit of difference. There's a bit of difference between the new ones and the old ones. If you're looking for more pigment, definitely Rendezvous, especially if you like that khaki green shade. If you're looking for, just really easy, basically like 2 or 3 shades within the iPod set that could be your one and done, you could definitely look towards any of the other iPods. My favorite shade is probably still Tabac from Les Jours. This shade here. But khaki green or Bonne Chance is gonna be a close second. Maybe, maybe these two are the same for me. I like to use these to create a look at some point too. Let me know what you think below of these new iPods, if you had plans to get them. They're currently only available on Westman Atelier's website. However, I do think eventually we'll see them on other retailers, especially Sephora. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye.